Welcome everybody to a new live stream of Flower Circus Talks. Today a very special episode. We're in the fields of, or we're going to be in the fields of full of peonies. At Greenworks, they have a test field with peonies over there. I think it's about 300 different varieties. And we've got our own specialist over there, Daan Kneppers, and he's going to tell you all about peonies. The best specialist in peonies I know. So if you have any questions about peonies, don't be afraid, just ask Daan. And of course, he will tell himself a lot about the peonies as well. It's great weather in Holland, so luckily he's not standing in the rain waiting for us. Daan, welcome.
Hello, Sean. Welcome.
So how are you, first of all?
Actually, we're doing very well. Everybody at our company is healthy, and with the beautiful weather we have here in Holland, it's a pleasure to be walking among the peonies.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like I said, you've got a test field with a lot of varieties.
Yeah.
But before we start and show all the varieties, can you tell a bit more about Greenworks and what you do?
Yeah, I would like to. Greenworks is a company located in the northern part of Holland. We are a supplier of young plants, focus on peonies, of course, but then in the springtime we also do Ranunculus. We have Ranunculus butterfly and Ranunculus romance. Then we also do canna, agapanthus, and we do some other minor crops. But the focus is on peonies and Ranunculus.
Yeah. And with Ranunculus, you got the new variety, the butterflies, right? As well.
Yeah, that's correct. We have the butterfly, and the butterfly ranunculus is different from other ranunculus in the sense that it has a single stem, and on the stem it has 8 to 12 different flowers, which make it basically like a spray ranunculus, which has an excellent vase life, and we have it in a wide range of different colors available.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks very fragile, but it's the opposite. It's very it has a very good vase life.
Yeah. The flower petals have a very thin layer of wax on it. Yeah, like you say, Sean, it looks relatively fragile, but because of the very thin layer of wax on the flower petals, it makes it have a very long vase life.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great product to work with, and we can see how popular it is, and still getting more and more popular. So that's great.
Yeah.
And as I understand from Ed to colleague, a lot of new varieties are coming up there as well, new varieties and colors, right?
Correct. Yeah, we are expanding all the time the assortment of the ranunculus butterfly. We do that together with the breeder in Japan, Aya Enge, where we have the exclusive rights for that. We can do the propagation and the marketing and sales for all the varieties all over the world. And yeah, we're expanding. We have now, I think, close to 20 different varieties into it. It's all reproduced by tissue culture, so it goes a little bit slower than what we would like to. But but in time we'll have enough bulbs and plants available to supply the market.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, people react on it. They love it. I mean, I've seen people watching it, taking pictures, and working with it with a big smile. So yeah, it's a fantastic product.
Yeah, correct. And it's also a product that kind of fits the time. People really like to have seasonal flowers at the moment, and they would like to have, instead of a static bouquet, more like a living bouquet. And the butterfly ranunculus fit that perfectly because the flowers have very many small flower buds that open up over time. It looks kind of like a spring field bouquet. Yeah, really fits the time.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure.
Yep.
And now you're standing in the northern part of Holland.
Correct. Yeah.
I think well, we can already see it. It's looking great. You got the test facilities over there, and I quickly made a print screen while you were showing it. It's divided in different colors and types as well.
Yeah, correct. We've planted all the red varieties all together. We have planted here now more than 300 different varieties, and they're all commercially available varieties. So it's not like a botanical collection. But then we have all the reds together. So if a grower wants to select a red or a white or a pink variety, it's very easy to compare the characteristics with one and the other. They're all grown in one location. We have planted of each variety 20 different plants, and so you get a good overview of the overall performance of the plants.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Piet van Kampen is saying he was there yesterday with you.
Is it correct? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So he said it looks beautiful. So
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Pete had a very good visit yesterday we had here, and together with Maria was here also yesterday. We had a very good visit. Now we have many people stopping by, and we have, of course, at the moment we're almost at peak flowering, so it's yeah, there's a lot to see right now.
Yeah, we're just in the right moment at the moment.
Correct. Yeah.
So, like I said, if you have any questions for Daan, please ask them. And Daan, can you show us around and tell us about the varieties which are there and which are up and coming and are interesting?
Yeah, no problem. I would love to do that, Sean. What we'll do first is we'll do the red section, and
Yeah.
we'll start with a variety called Cherry Hill. Yeah, and the variety Cherry Hill is very dark maroon red. It's a newer variety. Has very good vase life. Has foliage to the bottom of the stem. That when they cut the stem, there is still some foliage remaining to give enough
Okay.
energy for the following year.
That's very important.
Yeah, correct. So that's a newer variety. What we're starting to work with in the very dark red color. Then there's another upcoming variety. It's Christmas Velvet. Christmas Velvet is a color very similar to Red Charm, but the characteristics of this variety that it has taller stems, it produces more flowers per plant, and the vase life of Christmas Velvet is longer than Red Charm. Yeah, so this is
Okay.
kind of like an improved version. So.
Yeah. Wow. It's the red is really intense at the moment
Yeah,
because of
because
the
all
sun as well.
yeah, the sunlight, and but it also, if you see the size of the flowers compared with my hand, yeah,
Yeah.
very large flowers.
Yeah. And it's not because Daan has small hands; it's really the big flowers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was Christmas Velvet. Another variety, what is also doing very well at the moment is Command Performance. Command Performance starts out with a reddish color, like you see
Yeah.
here. Yeah. And then later on, as the flower will expand, it will fade more to pink.
Wow.
And you see the flower, but it's also, again, very large flowers.
Yeah. And it's nice that it changed the color during the period when it's flowering.
Correct. Yep. Yeah.
James Roberts from the United States is telling, love to be there, beautiful day. I've got the same feeling, James, because I'm not in Holland at the moment, and I would love to be there as well at the moment.
I have to say, though, it's quite exceptional that we have in Holland this kind of nice weather this time of the year, because last Friday, if it would have been, it was rainy, almost stormy, it was quite different. So we take this day anytime.
Yeah, great.
Another variety, yeah.
For the people who are interested, Piet van Kampen took a lot of pictures yesterday. He will put them on his Facebook site. I will try to put the names there as well during what Daan is saying. So, but also tomorrow you can see it on Piet van Kampen's Facebook.
Yeah. Another variety is Diana Parks, also another red. Similar color to Christmas Velvet, but a little bit more short. This variety also does very well in warmer climates.
Okay.
Yeah, some peonies perform better in cooler climates. Some do better in warmer climates. The Diana Parks does good in like in Italy, some of the other warmer climates, or Israel.
Yeah.
Henry Boxtoes. Henry Boxtoes makes very large red flower buds, and the flowers open in a beautiful shape, red. Very tall stems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And produce many flowers.
Yeah. There are many reds and also all the other colors, of course, because you have early flowering, middle flowering, and late flowering varieties, if I'm correct.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And we're now at the end of the early. The middle is getting into flower, and
Yeah.
some of the late ones are still in bud. But I will try to pick the most important ones. Yeah. I'll skip some of the varieties, but else it might take quite long. Let me see. We have another dark red one, which is Peter Brand. Yeah, fairly similar to Cherry Hill,
Yeah.
but it's a little bit later blooming. Yeah, so if you have your sequencing of different flowering, yeah, then you can plant your earlies, your mid, and your lates, your different varieties.
Okay. That's great. Willie Ormelini is saying I can smell them from here.
Actually, the interesting thing about peonies is that it is relatively slow to propagate.
Yeah.
If you look at the varieties which are being sold in the auction in Holland, in the top 10 there are 7 varieties which are 100 year or older. So it's
Wow.
so it's a very slow propagating plant. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are now at a variety called Red Charm.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is basically one of the most popular red ones. Yeah, beautiful shaped flower. Also, the flower shape of the red charm is what they call a bomb shape, BOM, and that means basically is that you have a kind of like a saucer, yeah, like a plate, and the ball
Yeah.
is laying on top of it. Yeah, so you have a bomb shape. Then you have, let me see here, you have like a double,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you have also single types like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have besides all the different colors, you also have lots of different variation in flower type.
That's great. James Roberts is asking how many weeks of flowering from early to late in the
From the
normal
first,
season.
yeah, the first variety flowers for us here in Holland around May 5th, and the last one, which is Elsa Sus, which will be about June 15th. So it is almost like a 6-week period that we have flowering peonies.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
what you also could do is to extend your blooming time. You could either grow them in a cold greenhouse or in a plastic tunnel. Then you can force them to make a little bit earlier blooming. Or what you could do is at the end of the season, store them in a cooler at about a half a degree Celsius above zero, and you
Yeah.
store them dry. And then you can also store them for a period of time.
Okay. Yeah, that's also a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a real nice one.
correct. Yeah, this is white cap. Yeah, normally two-tone varieties don't do very well in sales, but this one I particularly would like to see it because it's very distinct in its coloration. It
Yeah.
starts when it opens a little bit creamy color, but when it matures more, it becomes really a very vibrant white with a maroon reddish background. Produces many flowers, tall stems, good produces at least 10 to 12 stems per plant, very high production.
Yeah. Wow. And it looks fantastic.
Yeah, but it's also prime flowering now, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. I mean.
Yeah. Also, is that the section what we saw in the beginning are 3-year-old plants. Now we are at the part which is 2-year-old plants. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the difference between 3-year-old and 2-year-old plants?
Now here you see 1-year-old plants. Basically, these are planted last fall.
Yeah.
Then when you plant peonies, is the first year you do not harvest any flowers. The second year you could harvest between 2 to 3 flowers per plant. The plant needs to first build up some energy, and then the
Yeah.
third year you can have 5 to 10 flowers per plant. Yeah. So basically, and the flower size over time also gets bigger.
Okay.
Every year until the 4th or 5th year, the flowers will increase about about 1/3 every year.
Wow. That's that's great. And after that, well, how long does a grower on average have the plants in the soil, the same plants?
If you take care of the plants well and you keep it free from the weeds, which is basically the biggest problem, we have customers who cut peonies for 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long period.
Yep. Yeah. But then you have to take care of the plants.
Yeah.
Now we have basically had the highlight of some of the red ones. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
one more I'd like to show you. It is a newer variety, Belgravia. This is a 1-year-old plant. It's a newer type of peony that makes very large flowers.
Yeah.
This is not representative of what it's going to be, but this is relatively small. But next year and the year after, we'll have huge flowers, very good vase life, and it holds its color. So people, like florists, if they want to mix it in a certain bouquet, it does not change its color.
Yeah. And Belgravia, I mean, like you said, normally the second year you get some flowering, but I already can see it did drop some flowers. So it means it's a very strong flower, a strong variety.
Yeah, it produces relatively easily flowers, correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we come to the section of the pinks. Here you see the part which is 1-year-old. Yeah, basically planted this year. And then this is the 2-year-old part. And there is a new variety I would like to show you, which is just coming on the market. It is one of the full double. It's
Yeah.
very, very early double pink. And it's called Think Pink. But it is already in the second year. It makes large flowers and many flowers, a good length. They're very good performing new peony.
They're beautiful.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Cookie is saying hello. Hello, Cookie. Somebody's asking, Daan, why you're not on a Segway?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we had a grower who was on a Segway a couple of days or last week, so
okay,
that's why
okay.
everybody thinks now that everybody in Holland is on a Segway.
No, there's also another part of peonies what we're growing for people who want to grow it in containers for gardening. Then we have
Yeah.
special parts, special varieties we grow for that. This is Anemone flora. It's a relatively compact plant. Yeah, but it's it's just finished blooming right now almost. But as you can
Yeah.
see, it's quite bushy, quite compact. Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very good for growing in containers. And as a garden plant, performs very well because with the rain and all that, it does not fall over, it does not blow over. The flower will stay upright.
Yeah.
Anemone flora.
Yeah. Great.
Then we come
And that's a
to
very early one as well.
yes, it's very, very early flowering. Correct. Yeah. Then we come to the most popular variety of all the peonies, which is Sarah Bernard. Sarah
Yeah.
Bernard is was introduced in 1905 or 1906. It's still in flower bud at the moment. About 40% of all the peonies grown worldwide is Sarah Bernard.
Wow.
Now, why Sarah Bernard? Because it's just a very strong plant. It produces well in almost any location. As you can see, produce many flowers.
Yeah.
Just very good variety.
And 115 years old.
Yep, yep. Yeah, actually, the second one, what is mostly produced in Holland, is Duchesse de Nemours, and that was introduced in 1856.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. But
Yeah.
all the peonies also, it's a relatively slow-growing crop. If
Yeah.
we put a planting stock in the ground, then 2 years later, we harvest 1.8 saleable plants. So it's so it's a very slow-growing crop.
It's much slower even than tulips.
Yep, yep, yeah, correct.
I've got a
And that's
question
why,
about the Sarah Bernard because you also have a special Sarah Bernard.
correct, yeah, there is a Sarah Bernard Select. I can go back to that.
I've got a picture of it. I can also show the picture.
No, there is Sarah Bernard,
Yeah.
yeah, and then there is Sarah Bernard Select, yeah, which some people say it has a little bit larger flower buds and produces more flowers. Yeah, in some locations, what I see is that it does better. It produces larger flower buds than the normal Sarah Bernard. Yeah, but I think it also depends a lot on what type of grower you are and how you take care of it.
Yeah.
This is the larger flower buds.
Yeah, they look great.
Yep.
And actually, You are growing all the plants yourself. You're not buying anything.
Correct.
Why?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, that's correct. We grow in the southern part of Holland. We grow all the peonies ourselves, and then we ship them in the fall to our warehouse here in the northern part of Holland, where we do all the dividing. And we
Yeah.
grow everything on a 2-year cycle. We do not harvest any flowers from the fields, so all the energy will go back to the plants.
Oh, that's important as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And which one is this?
This is a variety My Love. It is in the section of pink, and the reason why, because it starts out very soft pink, yeah,
Yeah.
and as it matures, it will turn into white. There's quite a bit more peonies what do that, and then we always debating: do we plant them in the pink? Do we plant them in the white? But this variety, My Love, it's relatively new, but produces many flowers,
Yeah, we
full
can
double
see.
flowers.
Can you hold your hand next to the flower because I think they're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable.
But then there's another variety I want to show you, which is a relatively old variety, also Monjules Lee. And if you, this is also what they call a bomb-shaped flower, yeah. But Monjules Lee
Yeah.
also makes very large flowers.
Yeah. Wow. There's
About
really a
the,
lot of petals in it.
yeah, about the cutting stage, Sean, of the peonies, it's very important that the flowers get harvested when the flowers are a little bit what we call spongy, a little soft. Most
Yeah.
flowers are harvested when they're too hard and then they will not open. But if you harvest the flowers, you just need to squeeze the flower bud a little bit, and then you need to feel like it's a sponge, so a little soft, and then yeah, then if you cut it, they will always come open.
Yeah. Because normally there's some yeah, we always say a sugary layer on top of the flower.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And once that's spongy, then the sugary layer is yeah, is gone, and
Now
it's
normally with a little bit of rain or something, it washes off.
yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you can have ants on the flower buds, but they just come after that sugary layer. They don't do any damage or anything to the peony.
No. No, this is yeah, and that's very important for the peonies, the cutting stage.
Yeah. But this variety, Monjules Lee, a very reliable, good performing variety.
Yeah, beautiful.
Then we have a kind of a neat variety, which is called Joker. Joker has the unique characteristics that it starts out like pink, like this,
Yeah.
and then the flower changes on the plant, changes color.
Wow.
Yeah, so on one plant you have from a pink fading all the way to the white, and so it's like a living bouquet on one plant.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and it's beautiful to have it in a vase as well, and see
Yep,
it changing color every morning when you get out of bed.
correct. Yep.
It was Joker. Yeah.
Then one of the most beautiful varieties of peonies is called Etched Salmon. Etched Salmon has salmon, yeah, the flower bud.
Yeah.
The flower itself is very beautiful. It, it's a pinkish, beautiful shaped, produces many flowers.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
Great.
What we also do with our peonies here, Sean, is that we have some roping. I'll go to one that I can show it a little bit easier. So to uphold the flowers, we have like a rope here,
Yeah.
yeah, and then it holds all the flowers up more straight, because here in Holland, not today, but normally we have quite a bit of rain, and this way we can hold up the flowers, so we get less crooked stems, and it's
Yeah.
easier for cutting. Yeah, so the performance for the grower will be a lot better. And also, when you walk between the rows, you do less damage to the peony plant.
Yeah, as well, and then especially I think it was last week there was a lot of wind in Holland as well.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, we had stormy weather on Friday and Saturday, and if we would not have had this support, then a lot of them would be laying on the ground.
Yeah.
This is also a quite old variety, Catharina Fontaine. It is like a vintage pink in the flower buds. Yeah,
Yeah.
very big flower buds, and then of course it opens up into a huge flower, and it fades from very yeah, antique pink to white.
Yeah. Wow. Actually, you were very active on with showing videos on YouTube as well. I saw
Yeah,
how you treat the plants with giving advice as well to growers. So that's great.
yeah. Now we feel also is that if we can help people to produce a better product, that we ultimately can get a better product to the consumer. We all gain. So if you go to our website www.green-works.nl, you can find all the culture information. We make it all available to anybody who wants to look at it. There is no code or whatever on the website. It's available to anybody.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
show
and
it
then
as well. Greenworks, green, and then the stripe works. .nl.
yeah,
And also for the people who want to see the videos on YouTube, I just put it in the comments below the live stream. So if you click on this link, you can see all the videos. It's from showing the fields in the southern part in Holland up to cutting the plants, things like that, and with a great explanation about it.
yeah. This variety is a little bit more compact. It's called Aleppi. It produces many flowers. It also starts pinkish and it fades to white.
Yeah.
This variety they grow in warmer climates, and then they also produce it in tunnels, plastic tunnels, to make it earlier. So you have a very early double flowering peony.
Yeah. I noticed with the earlier variety, you also said it's for the warmer countries, but it was also a lower variety. Has it something to do with each other?
No, no, no. The height of the plant is not always relevant. This particular variety is a little bit more compact. Yeah, but we have also, for instance, the corals where we come later, which would be quite tall, and they also do very well in warmer climates. So,
Okay.
yeah, no, the two of those are not connected.
Yeah.
We have also to get information for ourselves. We have in Italy we have two trial gardens. In Israel we have in Portugal a trial garden. In China two different locations. In Japan, in Chile, in New Zealand, and
Oh,
with the information what we get from all those different trial gardens, we also see what varieties perform well in certain areas, and that way we can also advise our customers again in the different climate zones how to what varieties best to plant and how they perform.
yeah. That's great. I mean, I think a lot of big breeders are jealous of all your test locations all over the world.
Yeah, but yeah, no, but also we are also sometimes very surprised about the fact how certain peonies react in certain climates, and we also learn a lot from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides the fact that we like to share this trial garden here, we also learn a lot about it ourselves, because normally we work only with young planting material and we never see the flowers come mature. And
Yeah.
now we see flowers come mature. We see different aspects of the plant what we normally don't see.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and also you are traveling all over the world, or together you're traveling all over the world just to advise the customers as well.
Correct. Yeah, but it's too bad this spring because of all the corona. We have
Yeah.
not been able to do that. But normally, yeah, I do quite a bit of traveling for that. And yeah.
Uh, Actually, somebody's asking, is there any test location in Africa yet?
No, no. Actually, we have some sales to South Africa a little bit.
Yeah.
And in South Africa, you have very many microclimates. Maybe that's something to consider if there would be somebody in south of Africa to want to do a trial location. We can supply the plants at no charge, and then all what we would like to have is the information back. But
Okay.
the thing what the people need to remember also with peony is a plant what needs to have enough cold in order to flower. It needs to have a dormancy period. So in countries like Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, yeah, you cannot grow outside peonies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to have a vernalization period of about say 6 to 10 weeks, and that's then they need to have a cold period below 5 degrees Celsius.
It's a bit the same like with the apples, with apple
Correct.
trees.
Yep. Yep. We always say is when we go to a new region, we check if they grow cherries, peaches, apples, pears. If you can grow those fruits, yeah, you can grow peonies also.
Okay. Yeah, So Cookie, if you're growing those types of fruits, then then you can do a test.
Yeah. Now we come to the white section.
Yeah.
One variety I'd like to show you. It's not in flower yet. It's one of the last ones to flower as a white. It's and cousin. It has a closed flower bud. Before this will flower, the flower bud will get now almost twice as big.
Yeah.
But it's a very late flowering white.
Okay. A beautiful one.
Yeah. Then we come to a variety what produces very well flowers in the warmer climate. It's bowl of cream. It starts, as the name indicates, creamy white, and then it fades all the way to pure white. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a typical variety. If you grow it here in Holland, you do not get that many flowers. But if you would grow this in Italy or south of France in that type of climate, you get 2-3 times as many flower stems.
Okay. Well, that's and does sometimes the climate makes that the flower has a different color as well?
Yeah, because of different light intensity. Like for instance, in parts of the US where you have a lot more light than in Holland, you will have the white will be more white, the red will be more red. Yeah, will be more intense. Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Talking
Where we
about
also
the United States, there's a high demand for peonies in the United States at the moment.
no,
Really.
we love to supply the plants.
Yeah.
Also, to show you a little bit what we look for in newer varieties, is that this is when you look at this variety, you say it's a beautiful flower, nothing wrong with it. But what we look at also is that at the cutting stage, if you look at
Yeah.
this is what they call rosebuds or bullheads, or they have different names. But what most people don't like is that you have a rough flower bud like this, and then varieties like this, we do not select for our future production,
Yeah.
because this is actually the stage when they will be cut. And in a flower, yeah, in a bunch, in the sale stage, this is not really that pretty. Ultimately, flower will be real
Yeah.
nice, but at the time when it's purchased, yeah, it doesn't look as nice. So those
Yeah.
are also the things what we learn, what with the new varieties, what we want to add ourselves, that we yeah, that we don't select varieties like this is Bridal Grace by
Yeah. It looks
a
beautiful when
variety
you
what.
open it.
Yeah, but when in the flower bud, it does not look as nice, we
Yeah.
think. A variety what does very well for us is Bridal Shower. Does very well in warm climates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you can also a good example of that. Here you see an almost let me see where it is. Yeah, here you see almost a single flower. Yeah, and as the peony gets more mature or older, the flower will get also more double. So
Okay.
it's the same. So it's the same plant. Yeah, but as it gets older, yeah, like this is still a single flower. Yeah, it will get more double flowers.
The more power there is in the plant, the more the flowers will be double.
But you see also how ultimately how big that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. They look really great.
Bridal Shower is in the flower buds. It is pure white, which are not that many. Yeah, and then the flower also stays very nice white. So
Yeah.
with this variety, we do well in warmer climates, and also in plastic greenhouses or in cold greenhouses in Holland. We also force these. Then another variety, Brother Chuck. Brother Chuck is a very large flower buds, as you can see. Yeah, it starts out baby pink and it fades to white. Produces many stems, a little bit more shorter, but it still needs to go for about a week before
Yeah.
it gets into flower.
Also a bit a later variety.
A later variety, yeah, but very large. Also, as a general rule, what you could say about peonies, if the flower buds are larger on the plant, you will have fewer stems, and if you have smaller flower buds, in general, you will have many more stems.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's for a lot of plants the
Yeah,
same. I think.
yeah. Then we come to the most fragrant peony we have in our assortment, Duchesse de Nemours. It's also the most popular white one. As you can see, this is a little bit smaller flower buds. It's also white in the flower bud.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has a fantastic scent to it.
Yeah, fantastic. It's a real sweet, very nice fragrance. It's not overpowering. As you can see, we also have the bees on the peonies.
Yeah, I've seen a lot already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It was from 1800?
1856.
56, unbelievable.
Yeah. So it's almost 170 years old almost. It's
Yeah.
and it's still one of the very best white ones we have in our assortment today. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there
Then we
been
have
done a lot of breeding at the moment, or is it more becoming more?
no, there is still breeding in with peonies, but on the breeding of peonies, if I would make some crosses today, it takes about 10 to 12 years before I have a mature plant what I can select, and then
Yeah.
and then every 2 years you double the amount of plants you have. So I mean, when we talk about a new variety, it's always 30, 40 years old.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so it's not talking about one generation, it's two
No.
generations later.
Yep. 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 The variety I like to show you now is called Elsa Sus. Elsa Sus is the last flowering white one. Now it's still in a very tight flower bud.
Yeah.
This will bloom about June 15th, but it's one of the most beautiful white flowers.
Yeah.
But when you cut it, it needs to be very open. You cannot cut it too tight in the flower bud because then it never opens.
Okay. Willie is asking, are the bees helping or hurting the flowers?
No, she with the flowers are very often so double. Yeah, they cannot go to. They do not do any pollinating or anything. Yeah, so
Okay.
here we have a bee in at work.
Yeah,
But
enjoying
but
yourself.
yeah, but actually it's not positive or negative or I think just nice to have yeah the bees flying around and
Yeah.
enjoying also the flowers, I guess.
Yeah.
Then we have another white one variety. It's called Florence Nichols. Florence Nichols starts out with a very soft blush pink and fades to white. Produces very large flowers.
Yeah, as
Very
well.
strong stems. Yeah. Variety does very well. Also in warmer climates, produces very well flowers.
And the leaves will look nice as well. They look a bit shiny.
Yep. Yep. Good strong stems. Every year it produces very well.
Yeah.
The variety next to it is called Gardenia, maybe a little bit more known. Yeah, very similar to Florence Nichols, but the flower is a little bit smaller. Starts out also soft pink and fading to white.
To white, yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
And then in the white also, you have the what we call the anemone flowering, different flowering type. Most of these types are not being used for cut flower production. I find that too bad because some of them have really distinct, nice color combinations. But when we talk to growers, they say, okay, we only like to have the double peonies and not the single, not the anemone flowering.
Yeah.
But as you can see here also, some of these types are quite spectacular, put on a
Yeah.
big show. And but yeah, maybe it would be nice if some florists would ask more for the different types of peony, that the growers would also widen their assortment a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you did the same with the ranunculus, with the
Yeah.
butterflies. That's
Yeah.
a single ranunculus. So why not with peonies?
Yeah, and actually also if you take a double peony or if you take a single peony, the vase life is the same. It's not like because it has a single flower, it has a shorter vase life. Yeah, it has the same vase life as it would have on some of the doubles.
Yeah. I like them a
Another
lot.
another variety I like to show you is called Ivory Victory. Ivory Victory, when it is in flower bud, it is a little bit lime colored. But when it opens up, as you can see here also, it has very big flower buds.
Yeah.
Does not have as many, but the flowers will turn out very large, producing very well.
Yeah, beautiful.
One of my favorite peonies.
Yeah, they look good. And this is a 2 or a 3-year-old crop?
This particular one is 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all 3 year. But as you can see also, the flower buds are much bigger, and right away you'll have fewer flowers than you would have with varieties with smaller buds.
James Roberts is already saying that he loves the butterfly ranunculus.
Yeah,
so
great.
That's good.
One of my favorite white peonies is called Madame Claude 10. The reason why I like it so much is that because in almost any location where we grow peonies, Madame Claude 10 always produces very well the flowers. It makes pure white flower buds. This is actually the stage where you would need to cut it in, like this, like a puffy flower bud like this.
Yeah, beautiful.
And the flower is pure white, produces many flowers. Like I said, almost any location where we grow peonies, this one does extremely well.
Yeah, it looks great. More people are saying that they love the butterfly ranunculus, but I'm quite curious. What do you think about the single head peonies Daan just showed us? Do you like them as well, or do you prefer the double ones or the bomb varieties? So let's see if we get an answers on that one.
One variety was a little bit in the middle. It's one of the first flowering white ones. It's called Miss America. It starts out very soft baby pink. It starts out like this.
Yeah.
And then it changes to pure white. This is what they call a half double. It's not really full double, but half double. But flowers are very big.
Yeah.
Pure white.
And a lot of flowers as well.
Yep. And this is almost getting to the end right now.
Yeah.
What I
was wondering, Dan, you said you don't cut flowers from the plants because you need it for the plants themselves. You need all the force to go to the plants. Do you do the same like with tulips and hyacinths, that you cut the flower and so all the energy goes to the plant, or do you leave the flower on?
Actually, we have done some trials with that, and we have found that if you leave the flower buds on or if we remove them, we do not see much difference in the production on the roots. So we leave all the peony buds on. If you go to our fields now in the southern part of Holland, you will see basically what you see on tulips, but we have then the peony fields. Tomorrow we'll go out with a drone again, and early next week we'll put it online. And then you can see fields with millions of peonies in flower.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the videos you make with the drone already from the beginning when the peonies are coming up. So you can follow every stage in the growth of the peonies. That's great.
Yep. Another variety, Sean, I would like to show is called Moon over Barrington. Moon over Barrington, if this plant is 4 or 5 years old, then it's one of the largest flowering white peonies. It starts out creamy colored, but it goes to pure white.
Yeah.
With my hand, the flowers are very big.
Yeah. Wow.
Pure white. Very nice variety.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Actually, this is a very nice way of people showing the fields in Holland that we don't have to go by plane anymore. We can just do it like this, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I will send you the link so you can send it to everybody.
Another one is it's a very good name. It's Mother's Choice. Mother's Choice starts out again soft pink. It fades to white. Has a very good flower shape, a rose-shaped flower shape, but a full double. Beautiful peony. Also a very light fragrance on it.
Willie is saying from flowersandsense.com, it's all English names. Does it have to do with that all the breeding is done in England, or most of the breeding is done in England, or?
No, actually, if you look at before 1930s, all the breeding came from France. Like
Yeah.
Sarah Bernard is an American name, but a lot of the names are also French.
Yeah,
And
Madame
after,
Cloud
and
10.
yeah,
Just
and
seen.
Madame Cloud 10 was introduced in 1927. Yeah, a lot of the names are Marie Lemoine. Here also another one. Yeah,
Yeah.
Madame Cloud 10. And then after the 1930s, the French lost interest in the breeding of the peonies, and then the Americans basically took over the breeding, and that's where a lot of the newer varieties have been coming from.
Okay. So actually, you can say all the French names are probably before 1930, and all the English names are newer varieties.
Yep, correct.
Okay, that's interesting.
Then we have one of the newer varieties, what is coming on the market. It's called
Yeah.
puffed cotton. It's a creamy white, turns into pure white. Yeah, that variety will be coming on the market in the next couple of years. It's not open yet, but it
Yeah.
will turn into pure white, and this is a 2-year-old planting. It produces quite a bit of flowers.
Yeah, it looks good.
Another one is a two-tone. I'm kind of curious, the people who are listening in, what they think of this. This variety is called Cheers My Star. It's a two-tone.
Yeah.
If people like peonies like this.
I will ask. Personally, but yeah, who am I? I like the one we saw before. I forgot the name already. It was the two-tone.
Yeah, white cap.
Yeah, white cap. That has
Yep.
more contrast.
I agree. Yeah. But this is more softer and I don't know. Yeah. Another new variety, what is being coming on the market relatively soon, is called In Full Sail. It's a creamy blush flower buds like this, and then the
Yeah.
flowers turn into pure white. It's also not full double, but it's half double, but it is really white.
Yeah. We get some of the two tones. I love it. But I'm not a florist. So they like the two tones.
Okay, very good. Now then, we'll start to grow a little bit more two tones. There's one very special peony I would like to show you now. It's the variety where it's getting to the end of flowering, so it's not that pretty anymore. It's called Pastel Elegance.
How is it called?
Pastel Elegance.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the most expensive plant we sell. It's
Yeah.
relatively new. We sell it for close to 100 euros per plant. It will take a while before they will become commercially available, but it's actually at the end of blooming right now. But when it's a little earlier, it's really peachy, pastel colored, very beautiful.
Okay.
And this is 1-year-old planting.
And already quite some flowers on it.
Yep, correct, and a good size, and it has also a very pleasant fragrance on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and like you said, the size of the flowers is already impressive as well for 1-year crop.
Correct. Yep. And another new variety what we're looking at is Coral Magic. Coral Magic is similar to the Coral Charm and Coral Sunset in growth and habit, but it is more red in the flower, and it holds its flower quite a bit flower color more than the other corals. It's also getting to the end of blooming here already a little bit.
Yeah, all the corals are early varieties as well.
Correct. Yep.
We can already see the seeds of the peonies.
Yep, that's right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the correct. The corals are never very double. They're always semi double. Yeah. But you're going to see the seed heads in the center. But most of the time, the seed heads do not have any viable seeds in it. They're basically empty husks.
Okay. Yes,
yeah, it's more for decoration, I guess. Or Lorelei. Lorelei is like a double coral.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the only really double coral we have in our assortment.
So
yeah,
impressive amount of flowers on it.
Correct. Yeah, and it has very good sturdy stems. It's easy to cut. This would be the stage where you cut the flowers in.
Yeah.
And the flowers are all double.
Yeah. Willie's asking, are there any of these varieties considered tree peonies, or is that a different part or section in your?
Actually, we will come to that a little bit later.
Yeah,
If it's okay with you, I'll answer that a little bit later.
yeah,
But we do have some different types. There is a famous breeder in the US called Clem, Roy Clem, and they've introduced these type. These are very different peonies, very different shapes of flowers. They've introduced some of this.
yeah.
It's very different from the doubles what we're always used to. I don't know if it's something what will catch on in the future or not with florists. I don't know.
It reminds me of the parrot tulips a
Correct.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Correct, Sean. It looks fairly similar to that. Yeah. Then we come to a very special peony. It's called Coral Sunset. The reason why it's special is because it changes its color. It's kind of like a magic ball. It
Yeah,
starts out like this salmon, and then in a couple of days it changes colors like this. And Pete has made several pictures of this yesterday also. So if you go to his Instagram account, I'm sure you'll find some of these pictures taken from this spot right here. So
yeah.
it opens like this, then it turns like that, then it turns like that, then it changes like that. And
Actually,
this happens like if you put this in a vase in like 3 or 4 days, you see all the different color changes happening before you.
yeah. My mom is selling them every week. It's her favorite peony. She sells them in Holland,
Okay.
and
Yep.
they sell them as magic peonies.
Okay. Yep. Correct. Yep. Yep. No, they are. Huh?
Yeah,
Then variety what looks fairly similar to that is called Coral Charm. Yeah, Coral Charm starts to flower a little bit later. It does not change the color that much. A little bit, but this variety does very well in warm climates. In warm climates, it produces many stems.
yeah.
Like
It's also good.
in the south of France, this one uh, produces with no exception to have 20 stems on it.
Yeah. Wow, they're beautiful.
Yeah, and it's very tall stems. Huh? This is like 1 meter 20, 1 meter 25 tall.
That could also be great for weddings and big events to have peonies that are longer.
Yep, correct. Yeah, you can make very large flower arrangements with this. Yeah. But then to come to your question, Sean, about the tree peony,
Yeah,
there has been a professor in Japan in 1954, and he had the name of Dr. Ito, and he made the very first grass in the world. He was combining tree peony, and he was breeding that together with the normal peony, the lactiflora. And what he created is a type of it grows above the ground like a tree peony, and under the
yeah,
ground it grows like a regular peony. And these peonies we call now Ito hybrids, named
yeah.
after the breeder. Yeah, and this is what we call actually the perfect garden plants. It makes a very nice bush forming habit.
Yeah,
Uh, it produces many flowers among the bush, and then in the summer and the fall, it will get very nice fall colors in the foliage.
yeah, it's beautiful.
If you have a 4 to 5 year old plant, it's no exception to get like 50 flowers on it.
I can't wait. I've got them in my garden now for 3 years. So
Yeah,
last year we had some flowers. Already this year we had quite an impressive amount of flowers on it.
yeah.
So I can't wait till next year.
Now this is really excellent for uh, for gardening.
Yeah,
The reason we do not have any tree peonies, the best tree peonies are grafted, and that's very labor intensive. And they used to come a lot from Japan, but as the people are getting older in Japan, less and less
yeah.
are doing the grafting. So actually, the very good tree peonies are getting harder to get.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
actually, this is getting to the end of our tour. We have covered some of the reds, the whites, the pinks, the corals. But of course, we have many more varieties here, what we could show. But everybody's more than welcome to visit us.
Yeah, it's great. I'll ask the people if they have any more questions because we've seen the highlights or the things that are flowering at the moment. Like Dan was saying, there's a 6 week difference from the early ones till the later ones. We've seen some still not opening yet, but it's beautiful and it's great. I mean, this is thank you very much for showing us around, Dan, and taking the time.
No problem. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, and somebody is saying they will not like the weather in Miami. Is that true that 3 peonies or the Ito peonies will not handle the warm weather?
Correct. Yeah. Then Florida is too warm. You don't have any, not enough cold. You do not have any vernalization. If you are in Georgia, you're better off with like the Ito. If you go a little bit more north than Georgia, like the Carolinas, then you could go to the Lactifloras or the hybrids like the corals.
Yeah.
But if you don't have enough cold, then no, peonies will not do well.
Yeah. Okay. James is saying I've been educated about peonies today. Thank you for the tour. And enjoy the sunshine.
Actually, these days are quite exceptional in Holland, but we love every minute of it right now.
Yeah, and you need to enjoy it because it's Holland. You never know what the summer is going to be like.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. No,
Yeah.
or what we might get tomorrow. Huh?
Yeah, that's
Actually,
true.
if you look around here, I'll just show you a small shot of the little surrounding. You'll see the little church tower in the background. Yeah, we are really in the country. There you see the cows walking in the field.
Yeah, fantastic.
You see some old farmhouses with thatched roofs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, the environment, and now with the peonies in it as well, it just makes and the weather,
Yeah,
it makes it perfect.
you're almost jealous to come back then, Sean.
Yeah. I can't wait that the flight or the planes start to fly again because
Yeah.
sitting home already for too long. But it's not only me; it's everybody.
Yep.
But like you can see, I think we showed a lot of people the beauty of your trial gardens, and hopefully many more will see it the coming days as well.
Yep. No problem.
Yeah.
If people have any questions, send us an email or send a WhatsApp message or whatever,
Yeah.
and we'll try to follow up.
Yeah, I mean, Dan and Ant are always there to help you. That's what I found out the last couple of years as well. They're very open with all their information, and they're really there to help you to make it a perfect product from the start. Because you have a special treatment for that's what we forgot to talk about. You have a special treatment for the roots as well.
That's correct, yeah, because peonies are very sensitive to nematode. Yeah, and normally you treat before you plant the peony in the field, you treat the root with a warm water treatment to kill most of the nematodes. But the warm water treatment also at the same time does damage to the plant material because you're kind of you want to kill all the nematodes, but then you also do damage to the plant of the peony. We
Yeah.
have found out that we have developed the treatment what we call greenworks care, and that's what we put them in a temperature room with high temperature, with very high humidity and a longer time period. So basically what we do is we activate with a high temperature and a high humidity the nematodes in the peony root, and by the high temperature we basically kill the nematodes. And the method what we have is we kill all the nematodes, but we don't have any damage to the root, and that results in with our plant material more flowering in the first year, more growth.
Yeah.
So you'll have the following year more stems to flower and to
Okay. Yeah,
cut.
that's great. I mean, that's what everybody's looking for.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And actually, Sean, like peony and ranunculus is our specialty. So we try to do. We're always researching. We're always trying to develop better ways, or to help our customers to develop better flowers. Yeah, we really believe if our customers are making money and do well, then hopefully they think of us as when they need to get flowers
Yeah. Yeah. No,
or plants. Yep.
that's for sure. Oh, can't get enough of all the beauty.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Great. Yeah, Daan, thank you very much for showing us around.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you for showing us all the beauty. Unfortunately, we couldn't have the smell, but that's something the people in the technique should work on.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future. Yeah, thank you very much. Hope to see you soon, and yeah, say hello to Ed.
Yeah, I will. And thanks for the opportunity to share the information with everybody. And hope everybody stays healthy. And yeah, next year possibly everybody can visit the trial garden again.
Yeah, and yeah, that would be great. I mean, it's worthwhile, but everybody's seen that it's worthwhile. So thank you again, and thank you everybody for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow. We have another great show coming up tomorrow, 3 o'clock Central European time again. So stay safe, and hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thanks again. Thank you.